This is really easy. Everything holding this on is just clips. You just pull these out. There's one there in the front. And this one here. These are easiest to take off if you kind of pry them up like that. And then they'll just pull right out of there. You don't even need any tools. Just yank them out. And there's another one up here. And it's the same situation on the other side. Take this belt off first. And it just should pop right out of there. And that's it. After that, everything will come out. This spring right here. We're just gonna weasel that right out of there. Pop this up here. And leave that cable assembly just kind of hanging. There's a 10mm. Probably an easier way to do this. I'll take them out, lift that up, take that spring off. And this is what we have. These are 18mm. And we're going to get something to wedge these to keep these from turning when we take this nut off. And these will pop right out of there. And there's two of them. It's a 42-inch cut, so they come very close to each other. Seriously. So they're 21-inch blades each. So we need two 21-inch blades. Or we might get these sharpened, I don't know. Yeah, that's where we're at. Yeah, I'm taking these off with a wrench. They weren't that tight. It's best to do this with a breaker bar and an 18mm socket. Little trick to the trade here. If all you have is a wrench, take the biggest wrench you have and set it in there like that. And that'll give you a whole lot more leverage here to pop this off. And wedge, it's best to use two 2x4s. But I don't have that either, so I'm just improvising and doing the best I can here. And that's where we are with the blades off. This is semi-important. Actually, it is pretty important. On top of those blades, there's a washer. And the part that's all scratched up there, that's the bottom. That's where the nut rides against. Okay? And these go on one way because they're kind of dished. And we certainly don't want these blades falling off. But that's it. We're going to go get these blades sharpened and stick them on here. These are starred, so make sure they're absolutely seated when you put the new blades on. That's where we are, folks. It took about maybe 8-10 minutes to get this far. Really easy job. And I'll be back as we put it back together. On these blades, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it on this one. There's a number on one side. And the other side doesn't have this number. Can you see it? It's kind of hard for even me to see it. It's right there. You don't want to put these blades on upside down. That number goes toward the top of the tractor. And the bottom of the blade won't have any numbers on it. Alright, you with me? So this is the side the numbers are on. And that goes toward the top of the tractor, toward the sky. And the bottom of the tractor doesn't have any number. These washers only go on one way too, and they're dished. And as you tighten this bolt, the torque is going to be kind of consistent at the end, and this is because this washer is actually bending as you tighten it, and that force is what keeps pressure on the nut and keeps the blade from coming off. So you also only want to put these washers on one way, and the way is one side will be scratched up from where the nut was riding on. See how it's kind of almost silver there, the bare metal? Well, that's the side that goes toward the ground. Alright, now you're just going to make sure these are seated too. I want to show you this. These are starred. So you don't want to tighten it while it's like that. You want to make sure it's absolutely flush against that hub there. Like that. And the whole time you're tightening it, make sure it stays flush. Okay? Otherwise you're not going to like what happens when you go to start this puppy. Now you're just going to pry something in there to keep this blade from turning while you're tightening it up. Get it up under there, but don't push it all the way to the right yet. This thing here, the spring tensioner, is adjustable. But you'll see where the old bolts rode on, where it's down the middle right there. That's where you want to put it for now. And if something is loose, when you go to mess with it, or you go to drive it, just loosen these up and you can adjust it and pull it back, pull it forward. These things here, these hangers, they only go in one way. You can't stick them in like that. And they just kind of just sort of hang right there. And you can loosen this nut up or tighten it to adjust it. But any time that it falls like that by itself, it's just going to come out of there. But once it's hung, it stays in place because there's pressure on it to keep it from falling out of there. That's how that works. Now we're just going to push it back further under and start hooking stuff. It's a good idea to put like a 2x4 underneath this. Just enough to get your hand up under there so you can pull up on it in order to get these hung on that post right there. So you're gonna have to lift up on this bed to get this hung on that bracket. And as you can see, before we got that far, we hooked that one up. And it's just kind of laying on there. We'll put the washer and the pin in a minute. On the left side, if you're sitting on the tractor, we have this thing. This right here. That right there. So this side is hanging, and don't forget this thingamajig. While you're here, put the belt on this side. Get it over this. You want to stick it in there like that, and now we can hook up the other side. Make sure the belt's going around all the pulleys here. We're good. We're heading over to the other side. This isn't high tech. It's off the ground now and floating. It's on its lowest setting, as if you're cutting the grass, like at number 1. You want this as low as it can go, just to make things easier for you. And it's just the reverse of the other side. You got one there. You don't have that cable hook up. You got one right up there. Make sure this belt is over that, and the back end of it is riding on that. This belt looks kind of stretched. It tightens up once you get moving. And that's how it stays on the roll again. Alright, this silly ass will be. This will be the final video.